All right, one last thing before I set you off to explore Google Drawings, and that is WordArt. What you are going to do with your Calligram is you are going to make it into a poster, which means you need to make a saying that involves your Calligram word. So before you start playing with your Calligram, you got to figure out what your word is going to be. And what your saying is going to be. I did do what brings you comfort, and then my comfort is inside the thing that brings me comfort. So what you're going to do, and the reason you're going to do this in WordArt and not in text, you are going to insert now WordArt. Now WordArt means you are limited to how many words you can have. Also, if you eventually want to separate your words, you might want to do them in separate word arts. So I could do like do what, and then I could do another one, insert word art, brings you. Okay. So now I've got two separate ones I can play with too. Now, if you look here, it just looks like it's solid. But just like with the shapes that you created with your Calligram, you can go in and fill with a gradient. And you can fill it with the same gradient that you used. Or what you can do is what I did here is I took the gradient that I originally had, which is this one here, and I just clicked on it. Hold on. And if I go add a new one, it starts with the last gradient I used. So what I can do is I could change the angle of it. I could make it radial instead. I could add another stop, and then change the color of that stop to something a little bit different so that it has a little bit more. Now, when it does radial, it does do it from the center of your words. I don't particularly like that, so I can go back in here. And I can add and I can edit it. Maybe instead of radial, I do it from the top left. There we go. So now I can do what now? I don't particularly like doing it in two different lines because with my specific thing, with my specific composition, I just want it to be on one line. So I'll leave it here. So now you need to use WordArt. And then you can create some shapes. You can import some textures. I want you to avoid using any images. But you can import textures. You can just play around. I want you to see what you can do to create a good composition for your poster. Now, my poster is pretty boring right now. I would have to go in and play a little bit more to get an A on my poster. But this is kind of the basics. WordArt and a Calligram that use gradients and colors to create a poster that has a good composition. So go play with Google Drawings for a while, figure out what you can do with it, and see what you can figure out how to play with this program.